Welcome back, everybody, to All the Things Sword of Truth, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a mug of craft brew on the side. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate, and we're going to be trotting into Chapter 38 of Stone of Tears.
Heck yes, we are.
Beers in hand, we are ready to go.
Yes. This chapter opens with Kahlan heading into the shitter camp. Shitter's camp? The camp of the people who shit. So, Terry painted this beautifully debaucherous scene of the shitter's camp on her way in. There was tons of fighting over bottles and just mayhem, basically.
Yeah, complete craziness. Soldiers on their off time doing whatever it is that evil soldiers do.
Yeah. She sees mostly Daharans, but there's Keltons, Nicobarese, Sandarians, which I don't think we've really heard a whole lot about yet, have we?
No.
Okay. And even Galilean soldiers, which she was not very pleased to see.
Yeah, she's almost kind of hoping it was somebody else that had stolen their uniforms, but it wasn't. They were actual soldiers. They had decimated their own capital city with this horde.
Yeah. So she gets to the commander's tents pretty easily because there's, like, a lot of shit going on. Nobody even noticed her walking in on a horse, which is kind of funny because she was giving the other camp so much shit about it.
Yeah.
And saying, like, oh, the other people have sentries everywhere and they would never allow... Like, literally, she waltzed in on a fucking horse.
Yeah. You think they would make a mistake like this? They would never do this. And as she's riding in, I would love to think that in the back of her head, she was thinking, you know, them kids ain't half bad. Or at least I gave these other people a lot more credit than they deserved.
Yeah, they may be experienced, but apparently they don't give a shit. And I think maybe it was because she was alone, right? They were like, one person isn't a threat.
Yeah, a rider in the night is nothing.
So she walks right up to this table outside the commander's tents, and there's tons of men around it, and she's just sitting there on her horse next to this table of men, which... So the first time I listened to this chapter, I just kept forgetting she was on the horse and that they were outside until the end of the chapter, and it always took me by surprise. So I tried to remember that on, like, the listens through, because it's like a weird, I don't know, unstable power situation. Like, she's up on the horse and they're all sitting at the table.
Oh.
But then...
Symbolically, she's in charge.
Yeah, but the conversation isn't necessarily played out that way, but that's how they're sitting. So, yeah, interesting to me.
So, 4 of these guys were Daharans. One was a Celtish commander, and one of them was in plain robes, which we know that means wizard.
Yeah.
Kahlan apparently thought about whether or not she could vault the fucking table and take the wizard with her power, but judged the risk too great.
My thing was, what the fuck? Like, okay. This whole mission of theirs is foolhardy, to say the least. She's risking her life when she has bigger fish to fry for these men, right?
You mean sending one single person into an army of 50,000 is not a good idea?
Right.
Oh.
And now she's sitting there like, oh, I could risk my life for this. You have other shit to do. You don't think it's a great idea to just, like, spring onto this man in front of all these people?
It's Kahlan's virtue, though. Like, This is her job. She doesn't want to not be trying to help Richard, but at the same time, she can't just let this happen. And when she goes into something, she goes, like, all the way in. She's not fucking around. She's going to solve this problem one way or another. Another, unfortunately, being her death.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah.
No, not a great idea. Don't do that. Which she doesn't. I'm glad she assesses that the risk is too much right now. But, like, yeah, girlfriend, not a good time. You're literally surrounded. Calm down. And she didn't surprise them, by the way. When she gets there, one of the Daharan officers is immediately like, hey, our wizard, Slagle over here, he's like the eyes of our army, and he sensed you, like, a while ago. He's over in the corner, drunkenly whittling a large wooden phallus. And he started working on that apparently 2 hours ago when he sensed she was coming.
That is a weird reaction. I mean, okay, maybe the poor guy, he's busy with this whole war thing, so he doesn't have time for, like, a girlfriend, but there's going to be a girl here. You know what I'm going to do?
Make a dick.
I'm going to start carving a dick.
But I could see, like, I mean, I obviously don't ever hang around with, like, a group of drunk, horny men. I could see them, like, sitting around and being like, ha ha ha, what, you know what you should do? You should fucking whittle her a dick.
Just, that's a really long-running gag, though. Like an hour and a half in, your buddies walk by. Still going? Awesome.
Yeah, looks great, man. You should put the vein right down the middle.
Making it look as cartoonish as possible.
So this tells us a couple things. First of all, the book kind of breezes over the fact that this wooden dildo has an implied threat that comes with it. And it proves that Kahlan isn't anywhere near as safe as she told Chan, which we kind of assumed, I think, but...
Yeah, but this kind of puts it in stark relief.
Yeah, like, immediately.
I mean, as much as we joke about a big wooden dick, that's an actual threat to Kahlan, and, like, could end very, very badly.
Yes. It also tells us that the limit of the wizard's power is, like, 2 hours. So the army of the boys is safe, but not by a whole lot, because she spent a little bit of time, apparently, prepping for her time here. And so there's like a thin margin of space. They can't come any closer, or these people are going to know that they're there because of the wizard.
Yeah, something like 2 hours marching away.
Yeah.
Not very far at all, but if they come any closer, they'll be known. And my guess is that this 50,000 man army is just going to, like, crush them.
Oh, yeah, immediately.
Like, they would come back just to kill them if they knew that they were being followed, wouldn't they?
Oh, I think so.
Just, I mean, because, or they actually compare to pirates to me a couple of times in this chapter, but here's a bunch of young boys who are ready to fight and, like, go nuts. Wouldn't these people be like, hey, come on, let's go?
I mean, they might, but those boys are trying to come after them. So,
true.
I mean, I think if they knew that they were being chased by them, they would probably go, hey, if you don't want to join us, we're going to kill you. Okay, we're going to kill you.
Yeah, probably. So the gross Daharan man that's speaking to Kahlan then tells her that he is General Riggs, supreme commander of the troops, and they are fighting for the Imperial Order.
You know, I totally misjudged how early the Imperial Order comes in this series. I was a little bit taken aback when he said that, because I totally thought that this was just a band of, like, some pissed off people in the Midlands fucking around. I remember this part of the book, but I did not remember it was the Imperial Order. I don't know why. That, like, woo, right over my head. And I was like, holy shit, we're starting. We're starting. The whole thing is starting.
The whole thing. It's kind of funny how Wizard's first rule is a standalone in that sense, because it doesn't have any of the order in it.
Right.
And I guess you could say, soft spoiler, the order's going to be around for a minute.
Yeah.
Like a long minute. Thus our surprise now. Because I didn't remember it came this early either.
Yeah. It is not just a Midlands issue. Yeah, and we learn a little bit about the rules of the Order right off the bat. They are planning on fighting everybody who don't join them. They crush completely those people. They're like, fuck you, you don't want to be our friend? You're our enemy.
See? Pirates. They're fucking pirates. They're land pirates. Road pirates.
Road pirates.
Bikers.
And if you do join them, apparently you have our protection, and you have to help protect, all the other people. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, pirates.
So Kahlan is immediately like, okay, I'm the Mother Confessor. I command the Midlands. You guys aren't doing that right now. Which she is, okay? But she's been gone for the council for, like, a long pause. She doesn't know what's going on in the Midlands, obviously, because this shit is going on, and she had no fucking idea of it. And she's a woman on her own, just wandering, like, I mean, to their perspective. She's a woman on her own, just on the side of a mountain somewhere. It's a little ridiculous for her to expect them to immediately be like, oh shit, Mother Confessor, better listen up, guys. Like, you're in the middle of our army. Fuck you.
We've been made, boys. The jig is up.
Right. It's like if you stumble upon a king and he's just hanging out in a meadow somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, you better listen to me. And you're like, but there's 10 of us.
Yeah, I'm the king. I have a sword.
Yeah. Oh.
Better be good with that crown. Let's go.
But Kahlan, I mean, she's not intimidated by this shit at all. She's like, hey, Darkin is dead. Richard, he's the new Lord Rawl. He told all the Daharans to pack their shit up and go home. So that's what you need to do. Riggs lets her know that this group of Daharans didn't really respect Darkin at all anyways. He was always really preoccupied with his magic. And he wasn't organized. He didn't really give a shit about the army. He told them to go do stuff, but he didn't, plan and strategize.
Strategize!
He didn't really plan and strategize, how to conquer other places like these people think he should have.
Full of strategery. Yeah, he's magic against magic guy. They are steel against steel. The war games are not his interest.
Plus, he was, obsessed with, Orden and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. A little preoccupied, and he pays guys for that. Like, hey, go make the country safe, buddy.
Right.
Do what you gotta. He doesn't care if they're not ethical or, humane. He's like, whatever, man, just make it work.
Yeah, do it. But these people have decided that magic is supposed to be a tool. It's not supposed to be your master. And he slips into a real quick mention of how magic should be eradicated. And then he also says Darkin failed anyways. So he's totally on our side now.
The dead guy agrees with us, so
Yeah.
It's fine. Their wizard must be in on the plan at this point, but I did kind of picture him when he's like, yeah, and eventually we'll eradicate it totally. Their wizard standing next to him being like, wait, what? Nothing. Never mind. That's phase Z, and we haven't gotten there yet. So let's just get this done now.
I wasn't privy to that slide of the PowerPoint.
Hey, look, a butterfly. Look, right over there. There it goes. Go get the butterfly.
So Riggs then tells Kahlan it's dumb that he's even having this conversation with her to begin with. Because women have no smarts for ruling, They rule from their nipples and men rule from their fist.
It's such, that was a weird thing for him to say, in my opinion. He's turning to the guys he's sitting with and she doesn't even have her shirt off. I don't even get what the point of this conversation is. If I can't speak directly to the boobs, then what's the point?
I mean, I know he was referring to them being nurturing, but yeah, I think if I can't fuck you and you're not feeding a baby, then what's your point? There isn't one. Go away.
Rough.
So that's pretty much what he says. The kings that they come across are going to be able to join up and, work with them and keep their people safe. The queens can, find jobs in brothels or some shit.
What if they're married and the king is like, can I just keep my wife?
I mean...
Is that too much? Or would they say, no, fuck you, this is the way it works?
They might let you keep your wife, but then, she's not a ruler anymore.
Oh, but if there was a queen of a nation somewhere, they would probably replace her.
Right.
And send her to go work in a brothel.
Right.
I understand.
Queen Cirilla wouldn't be able to be queen anymore. Yeah,
because being married doesn't necessarily make the other person the king. It's just you're the king's husband. Or the queen's wife. Who knows? But you're not royalty because you're married to royalty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you may have the title, but you don't have the power.
Oh, okay. You're not the important one.
Right.
I got you.
So Riggs calls her stupid and asks what the council has accomplished in all the time that there's been a fucking council. And Kahlan's like, hey, it doesn't exist to accomplish anything. You're asking dumb questions. So Riggs is like, hey, you're being fucking stupid. What has your council ever accomplished? And Kahlan's like, well, it's not really there to accomplish things. It's just there to help the lands do their own fucking